Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday dinner. Tonight, as you can see on the screen, we're talking about women in the draft. Now, I know some of you may say, I don't understand what does this have to do with anything, but you know they stopped drafting people in 1973. I'm right here, buddy. They stopped drafting people in 1973. And ever since then, you had a lot of women who registered into the Army, into the Navy, and a lot of them registered to be fellow police officers. Now that we're at an all-time high, I think there are a lot of women who are registering now than they ever did before. Do you think that's going to change the outcome of the country, having more people, more women in the military? What's happening, buddy? I don't know. I don't know. Ask Kayla.
I don't think so. Oh, he said an introduction.
Yeah, but how they gonna know who's speaking?
It's okay.
To be honest, I don't think it would make a difference.
Speak a little louder.
So I don't think it would make a difference
Why?
because it's like when you do things for so long, for many, many years,
Right.
it's like basically adapting to it.
Right.
So I feel like it won't maybe make a change.
You? You're a woman. You're in the cadets. Why'd you sign up?
At the same time, to prove a point
To who?
to any man alive,
Why?
because it's always man could do this, man could do that, but at the same time, without the woman backing it up, man can do nothing.
I'm not gonna say that, but I understand your point. I am gonna say because let's just keep it 100.
Okay.
Women in the military now have, I say, the next 10 years are gonna surpass men. I believe that. I don't think men survive long enough to fight anywhere. I don't care what color the skin you are, black, white, green, brown. Women are slowly but surely taking over jobs that people think are meant for men.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah.
You might have women moving a little slow in civil service situations, but as far as in the Army, they're registering, and they're registering by the boatload. Now, here's an example I want to make. I recently went to a graduation for cadets, graduation promotion. If you look out on that field, the women outweighed the men that night.
Yeah, definitely did.
The women outweighed the men that night. That means that you have a lot of women who are registering to be in armed forces, civil forces. I don't want to say trying because they're not trying. They're succeeding. Here's the thing I always want to ask somebody. If you were at war and you were on the front line, does it matter if it's a man or a woman who's on that front line with you?
No,
Why?
But to other people, it
because
would.
you're there to protect the country, so it don't matter.
Does it?
Well, to me, at least it don't.
But it matters to you when lifting groceries.
Yeah. and
Why?
that comes- yeah. I don't know. It's because we've revolved around this. Men have to do the heavy lifting from time to time.
Right.
And that comes up to a higher percentage
Of.
being a man. But
So you
that's
say
just-
that if a woman on the front line who enlisted in the Army, you don't think she's capable of upholding her duties?
Nope, that's not what I'm saying.
So what's the difference?
The difference being is just you're a woman. You signing up on your own, or just signing up for any kind of army, military enlistment alone.
Get you what?
It's respected. You know?
Does. Yes. That's the reason for the show, because I do give him respect.
Yeah, that's it.
I
You
think-
you enlist. My respect goes beyond anything you can imagine. When it comes to like nothing else, it's like if you don't do this as a man, you're gonna get seen as trash. When you do it, you get seen as a masculine person. Or in other terms, you have your toxic masculinity.
Okay, a question. If y'all doing masculine things and a woman beats you, how would you feel?
That's just for us to better ourselves, to protect y'all.
That don't bother me.
And that's it.
Other men will.
No, not me. It don't bother me at all, because there's certain women in my life that's stronger than me, not just about strength-wise, but mentally. So, yeah, it don't bother me. If anything, it shows me that I got more learning to do.
But why does it? Why the front line matters? Is because of the pressure. You think a man can?
absolutely.
You think a man could withstand the pressure on the front line better than a woman?
No, I don't think neither can. Because you're risking your own life. Nobody's going to withstand the pressure. Yes, you've enlisted yourself, whether you're a man, woman, whatever you identify yourself as, something before. Gotta keep it like
That's
that.
fair enough. That's fair.
Whatever it comes to and you go towards that front line, nobody can handle that pressure. 'Cause
Nobody.
You know your life might get taken.
So why are so many? Why do you think so many women are signing up to be police officers, firefighters? They're signing up in the Army, Marines,
I feel
the
like they don't
Navy.
get- sorry to cut you off, but I feel like they don't get respected enough as a woman.
So you think that they do it for respect?
No, I don't
That's
think.
just what I think.
No, it's okay. It's your
That's just what
opinion.
I think.
It's okay. It's your
Yeah.
opinion. That's allowed at the table.
Me, as a woman myself, I would say it could be someone that was a police officer or Marine or any
Yeah,
of
that too.
military force
Before.
before
Mm-hmm.
our generation or whichever generation. So it was like an admiring that person, so we want to be like that person.
Everybody's soft spoken tonight. Y'all realize that? It's like everybody's. It's like, is there tension at the table?
Huh? No.
No.
Not it.
What is it? What is it?
Nothing.
Okay, go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry. Would you want to join the military?
I'm going to actually.
Ah. Which division?
I have two choices of the Air Force, and the Navy. Yes, they looked for me in my high school. Actually.
You know that's tough, right?
Yes, I know.
You know that when you walk into that field, like there are a lot of women in the military, but there are a lot of men who believe, who are in the military, that women do not belong in the military. You're willing to take that chance?
Well, if they think I think I'm good enough, and they also believe that too. Then what's the point? It's all for one.
Is it a physical thing, or is it like you have to have a very strong mentality to uphold your duties as a soldier?
I say both,
Both?
but mostly mentality, because you could be physically all you want, but if you don't have the mentality to do certain things, then it's not gonna work your way.
That's a hell of a career.
Yes, it is.
That's a hell. No, I'm serious. That's a hell of, for anyone who
They gave me a contract of 4 years.
for the military.
Yes. They studying and military too.
Now, when you get in there, do you want to be able to do? And I hate to say what men do, because at this point, when you enlist one of the national. Lord, I'm looking for the word. I can't find it. When you enlist in one of our major
Branches.
branches,
Yes.
you could call them branches.
Yes.
Military forces. I forgot my question because I couldn't think of the word that I wanted to use. But basically, I want to know: are you expecting yourself to be put on heavy machinery just because I recently watched somebody graduate. This person is small, petite, handling big machinery, and she's a woman. And I felt like, I was like, damn, it's fascinating. That is fascinating. But she also said to me, we're not welcome there.
No, because we're women.
That means she has to lace her boots up
Yeah.
twice as hard. You prepared for that? at that point, is it really for you, or is it really to show that the man standing next to you that you're just as strong as he is?
Yes, and I'm gonna have support at the same time because I'm not gonna be the only one woman doing the thing.
I think women are going to take over the military anyway.
Think we already doing it.
Yeah, I do believe. Yes. I haven't in my lifetime. I haven't seen so many lieutenants, captains, and sergeants who are females. It shocked my mind. To even when we went to the graduation or whatever.
Oh, the ceremony, yeah.
Yes, and to have, I think you had 3 of them sitting on the stage.
Yeah.
Amongst the.
One of them was a specter.
Yeah, the state. So I mean, I'm going to say I'm ignorant too. I think I have I don't really have an understanding of what I thought it was and what it can be. Now, if they bring back the draft, does everybody understand what the draft is? Because most of y'all at this table, the draft ended before you were born.
But if they bring the draft, everybody that is an American citizen
should be able to draft.
No.
Should women be entitled to be drafted?
Anyone who could fight should be.
Wow. You too? You believe women should be drafted?
Now let me stop.
Because let me just explain something. You know, you had to register.
Yeah.
You had to register for the military, but she didn't. She does not have to register for the military. Do you find that to be a chauvinist act?
Right, I didn't have to register.
Because she doesn't. So here's the thing: that now that you register, and they decide tomorrow they want to bring the draft back, you two could get drafted.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to get drafted, but she can volunteer to herself to the service if she wants to. But you are mandatory to go. Equal opportunity at its finest.
Because y'all are American.
What does that have to know?
I'm not American.
That has nothing to do with
I
that.
just stated
No,
here,
but most
I'm
of
not
the
American.
men's are going.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think most of the people here want to fight.
When push comes to shove, you know, you never know. They might do it like they did in the old times.
Such as?
What
is the old times?
I don't know. In my history class,
Fine, I'm cool with that.
they said that when there was a big war, they used to take anyone who strong enough to pass the test to fight.
Most of the time, the women were used to
Cook.
to heal, cook,
Yes.
and yes. So I'm saying that now that you have opportunities, women are carrying frontline material.
Yeah.
The vests, the jackets, the guns. Would you be comfortable doing that on the front line?
At the same time, I'll be scared because I know.
That's a lot of weight.
No, not a lot of weight.
Go put the bag on.
I'll put the bag on.
That's a lot of weight.
That's a lot of weight. I was struggling. I'm a big dude.
I will put the bag on. Bring the bag right here, right now, and I'll put it on.
That's a lot of weight.
That is a lot of weight.
Pick it up.
He got to the door. He was like, "Yo, you need to help me." It's a lot of weight.
It's huge.
And it's not had nothing to do with you being a woman. It's the fact of the bag.
Yeah.
What you have to. Yes, that joint is heavy.
The bag's bigger than her.
It's because I heard that their boots they have metal in it. Like some of them, they put metal in it while they run, so they can be used to carrying heavy stuff. That's one of the training steps that they do.
Listen. I'm not a person who works out. I'm not a person who doesn't walk. I don't do anything like that. And I'm not even going to say a woman. Forget about that. Anybody who weighs from 150 to 200 pounds, who's capable of carrying that bag 2 to 5 miles, who am I to tell you that you can't appear on the front line?
True.
You understand? I don't discriminate about women going to war. I don't discriminate about women going to draft, but I think they really need to stop this thing about certain aspects that woman can't do what a man. Women been wanting to fight in the war for a long time. How many people do you know actually are women who are actually home from fighting a war? No one at this table can say that. Women go in the military, but do they actually go to war?
No.
You don't know that. You don't know how many women might have been to war who might tell other women, yo, this might not be the thing to do.
Or even if they came back home.
I don't know if they make it back home. You know what made me think of this segment? You ever see on YouTube and you watch the soldiers who come home? Mm-hmm. And they come home and then I realized that the more and more I started watching, more of them became women. Women who were coming home to their children, who were coming home to their mothers, who were coming home. And I said, damn, there's a lot of women who are preparing to fight for this country. Is that because a lot of our men are dying?
I don't think because of that.
What do you think it's because?
I think it's because you understand. It's not just about respect. I feel like some women are born and was put in the right path of wanting to probably do this type of job, because we don't know if, let's say, a female who her grandfather and her father was in the service and she probably led on throughout the family, probably like a family tradition. So it could be that. It could be like they have, like some people, like I have a friend who went to the military. He didn't have a choice in a way, because he didn't see himself living in New York City and like his environment. So he felt like his only way out was the military. He graduated, but he found himself in a bad placement when it comes to finding jobs and stuff like that. So he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna assign myself to the military. I got my diploma, so I'm just gonna do that. So some people probably do it because the jobs out here probably not good enough, or they probably not suitable enough for a certain job that they want out here.
You think a lot of youth make that mistake? A lot of the youth enlist in the military thinking it's
A way out.
Yeah. Is it a way out?
I don't think so, because I have
That's unsaid and unspoken of, because a lot of people might have found a way out of this and some haven't. So you can't say no, you can't say yeah.
Yeah, some people may say yes because it's a way for them to prove themselves.
What's the way though? The money?
The military, just
leaving the land, not the land, but leaving your personal space and stepping out.
Showing people you can do it on your own. Like, I don't need you. I can do this by myself.
That's a good point. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So that's what probably that individual is doing. Building yourself, building a name for yourself. Cause like
family.
Exactly. You know how for example, like our parents, they have their own careers going on. They have what they got for themselves. But then when you come out, it's like, okay, what career is my kid gonna do? What is, like, you want to know what's the foundation of your kid. So like your kid's like, you know what, mommy, daddy's gonna go get a job, you go do this. You know what, I'm gonna go do this. So when your parents are shocked to see you go into the service, they're like, not my kid, not my daughter, not my son.
I you know what? Not to cut you off, because I remember when you first came home and you said, you know what, I thought about going into the service. My reaction was, man, I don't know about that. And I'm going to tell you why. As a parent, your fear of having your child register to be involved in someone else's stupidity, but knowing that the military also can help you develop your life, gives you structure. A parent's biggest fear is that their child never come back to them.
Mm-hmm.
All they get is that letter and that flag.
So now imagine this. You're not a mom yet. You're not a dad. You're not a dad yet. But for your first child, each one of you have a daughter. Your first child. Now, it doesn't matter how many you have after that. Let's concentrate on your first child. Mm-hmm. When your child turns 18, the first thing she says to you, I want to go sign up to the military and I want to join armed forces. What is going to be your reaction?
Well, for me, I'll be okay with that because, as you guys all know, my partner, she's already in it. So I'm already going through the whole concept of her being away, her coming back home, stuff like that. So to me, it's going to hurt, but at the same time, it's going to be like a walk in the park for me because my partner's in it. So if our daughter decides to do that, then...
No worries?
No, it's definitely going to be worries, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to be the same, hard concept of the feeling how I had the first time and her mother went through it. So, yeah.
I would say, what's your plan B if that don't work?
You got no plan B. When you sign the military papers, there's no backward cuts.
Yeah, there's no going back.
You can't go back.
Well, after the contract.
Nah, once
No,
you sign,
once you
that's
sign,
it.
that's
You can't
it.
go back.
You can't go back.
There's no, matter of fact, I'm having second thoughts. I ain't gonna do it.
Can't
No,
do it.
Once you sign, you belong to them.
You belong to them.
So now let's say like if you go through her process, like again, I'm gonna say something wrong. Like I don't know the full background to it, but it's something in the service like, if you don't like do your duty properly because you try to quit, like you get locked up for it.
I know what you mean. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying it
Muhammad
wrong.
Ali went through that.
But you get locked up.
But yes, it is.
You
It
get
is.
Then
locked
I
up
will-
and you have
I
to
will-
pay a
I
fine.
will-
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I will explain to her like the things y'all are saying, right? I'll be like, this is your choice. If you give up, you can't go back.
Yeah.
I will give her a understanding before she even steps into the door. And then after that choice, it's up for me to pray and support.
Praying to be every damn day.
Yep.
I pray all the time, and my daughters ain't even nowhere near the army, and I pray. It's a. Daughters are different. For mothers to let their daughters go into the service, that carries a lot of weight. That's like a mama bear letting her baby bears go off and do their own thing. Right? Yes.
I was asking that whose puzzle was that?
Not yours.
Can I flip it?
No. That's my biggest. See? And right now she's 7. God forbid if he lets me live long enough that most of the women that are in her life right now, they are in cadets, they are joining in the forces, and they're around her. So who's to say when she gets to that age, she's gonna say, Daddy, I'm ready to go. I want to join the forces.
I feel like at that point,
She will have people to support her inside.
no, that's not what I was gonna say, but yeah. At that point, she's aware of the consequences that may come
Right.
through. Because if I have a daughter and she randomly, 18, 19, comes to me and says, Dad, I want to join the military, whatever, I'm gonna be like, okay. At that point, I'm like, you have a full understanding of the risk that you're getting yourself into. And I support that 100%.
See, when you're not a parent, these answers, they're
Difficult.
no. It's when you become the parent that they become difficult, because now you have to look into that child's eyes. You have to look into that child's eyes and understanding that there are some children who are going to tell you, especially women. You have to look at some of the women I have yet to see a woman who came from signing up and being in the military come home with postpartum. Haven't come home with, or have you ever seen a woman police officer, or what they call
PTSD.
PS? What you say it again?
PTSD.
Yes. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
How bad is it?
It's scary in a way. Like, not to bring it up, but literally yesterday, my fiance, when we were laying down, she was shaking and saying no, no, no. So, I woke her up like, hey, what's going on? What happened? And she was like, no, it's loud. And I was like, what's loud? And she was like, I got so used to like the booming sound that came from the cannon. So I guess that startles her from time to time. So like she has nightmares here and there, and like she's adapted to her lifestyle back in Oklahoma. So she'll be okay, bedtime, it's 10 o'clock, lights is out. Then she'll be okay, we're going by 8 o'clock in the morning to do X, Y, and Z. So I guess like her schedule and her lifestyle over there, she brought it home. So I guess when she's not able to do certain things a certain way how she do it back there, it messes with her sometimes.
That's the part of the women being in the military that I love. But the fact of anybody, not even just the women, but men too, it's the discipline part. You do become disciplined. It's like a person who goes to work like myself for 25 years. Although you hit that clock for 25 years, you still have to get up to hit the clock. You understand? So my thing is, but she never once talked about walking away.
No.
That's why I wanted to sit down with her. She never wants to talk about walking away. And I always said that about you too. I used to tell him about you too like that. But sometimes I watch her when I stand over there, I watch her work out. And sometimes you don't want to do it. And I say, how you going to complete it if you don't want, but I'm like that too. So it's one of these things right now where I always said that if they decided to bring the draft back, and you guys are real young, so I know you don't really understand what the draft is. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what the draft is. So when you turn a certain age, you have to register. Most of the time they'll tell you it's to register to vote. Meanwhile, it's to register for the Army to know where you're at, your last location. They'll track you down, whatever, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to register, but you two do. The point is that they bring back the draft. She won't have to go, but you would. But she also wants to be in the Army too. My thing is, if you're a woman and you want to participate in, because I always say that the Army is organized confusion.
The Army's scary.
No, it's only scary when it becomes uncivilized.
I was
Yes.
asking that.
Okay, but you know Daddy's doing, so give me a minute. It's only scary when it becomes uncivilized. And what I mean by uncivilized is when you have a full-out scare war. Where you have both sides dropping bombs on kids, women, children, and it doesn't matter who you're hurting.
Sorry.
That's what I mean. It's okay. That's what I mean by when it becomes uncivilized. I think women are going to change the way war is presented. I think women have the ability to, as people may say, they call them emotional creatures, but I think women have a stability that most men don't have, it to calm the savage heart. Let's think about women in charge. You know how they structure their understudies. It's a difference. A mother and father in a house have the same role as a parent, but they have different obligations as a parent. You know, one may say because of the father that, okay, this is the security side. Doesn't necessarily have to be. If they bring back the draft, and I think a lot of women are going to be afraid of this because it now doesn't leave up, it takes away your choice as if they took away the choice of abortion, and we're going to get into that on another show. It takes away a man's choice too to say, hey, I have the ability to sign up. If I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Soon I think they're going to bring back the draft. I think this is something that,
Yeah, it's because
Uh-huh.
is in the United States joining Portugal? No, the war that's going on.
with Israel.
Yes.
Uh,
Biden
Good question.
agreed to it and said he's gonna join them to defend their land or whatever. So that's why
That leaves a certain amount of people to be shipped out to be. So you figure he ships out 10,000 troops. Out of that 10,000, how many would you believe in your mind, just to estimate, would be women?
I'd say 60%.
Wow, women?
Nah, I'd probably say
Yeah, that's a lot.
fair, probably about 10 to 15%.
Yeah, I would say less than that.
Mm,
You know,
nowadays,
and
I don't think so.
my thing is, if you see, you know, I hate that I have to talk about certain things that bother me, because if you're a woman surrounded by men, now what if you're an attractive woman and you're surrounded by savages? You have to fight off the savage as well as the training, as well as perform your duties as a soldier. So I used to think a black man had a heart. Minorities, let's say. So you say minorities have to fight off the color, the fact that he might not be a strong man, and the fact that if he is black, you know he's going to be the first to everything. But now it's a woman. So now you know they discriminate against women on certain things.
They use their bodies too.
Yeah, but how many women do you believe are going to be on that front line if war actually breaks out?
Not so many.
Not so many.
No.
The masculine ones, as some would say. And
Yeah.
I hate to use the word masculine, but does everyone know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean they're boys.
No.
It just means that they have
Strength.
the strength of a man.
I say not so many, not because they're just female. You also gotta understand,
In the
Like-
front lines.
right? But you gotta understand. I say not so many women because not every single female or woman goes to the army or these forces just to sit there and do a whole bunch of killing. You got different categories of work. You got mechanic, nursing. So not all of them are gonna go out there for war. So that's why I say not so many.
So what do you believe if you join? Okay, let's say you join.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just use you. I'm gonna use you, and then I'm gonna ask you. And if you want to put your opinion in,
Yeah,
jump
sure.
in. So as a man, you join the military for what reason?
For me, I would join for infantry because I'm a hands-on person,
Right.
and time to time I do get short-tempered. So I feel like, why sit here and put my short-temper and anger into hurting somebody here within my own city, if I could go that to somebody else who's trying to harm my country,
And
So-
flip them all about.
flip them all about.
Why you want to join the service?
I say, true, take a little anger out, but at the same time, see what was the survival rate, like help people survive.
To nursery.
Nursery and
Say that again.
nursery.
No nursery.
What's a nursery? What that
Like a
mean?
nurse.
Like
Oh,
nurse.
for kids?
No, for
No,
like,
for the army.
like army.
Oh,
Yeah, nurse.
so you believe women should be nurses too?
That's
No?
what she was describing. I just said it. Yeah.
I would take anger out and some way somehow probably help people who's also injured.
Everybody's injured.
Wow,
Just because a person looks fine don't mean he's not injured.
true.
He's in the army. He's in the military.
Physically injured, not mentally.
Is it worse to be physically or mentally injured? Because physically you can see what's wrong. Mentally you can't tell.
So it's worse to be mentally than physically, because mentally there's no real cure for that.
So now I'm glad we get to this point. So now women in the army, they go through their menstruation moments.
Yes,
They are emotional creatures.
yes.
So if a woman who goes through that every month and also goes to the fact of developing, what should you call it?
PTSD.
PTSD.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she does that. And this is the woman that men marry, they have children. And if she goes off to the service and this happens to her, then what?
I feel like some women go to the army. It's also to control, to find a way to control themselves.
I feel like regardless, a woman that joins the military is gonna have PTSD, whether you join
Anyone.
mechanics or nursery.
Anyone.
She's gonna have it.
Yes.
She's gonna get it.
Well, yeah, she's
From?
gonna get it.
No, it's okay. From.
Okay, you join nursery, right? You're
Right.
tending to a soldier's wound. You're not expecting to see somebody's heart out, somebody's arm dislocated behind their back,
I agree with you on
bleeding, the head split open.
that. I agree with you on that.
Join the mechanics. Sometimes some females they join in to control the air control, meaning bomb drones, aircraft. They're seeing the killing or they're doing the killing. So regardless, they're gonna
Force.
get PTSD. That's just my take on it. That's what I believe.
Do you realize how strong that PTSD is?
Very.
Do you know that's the number one killer for a lot of police officers and people who carry guns? Let's just say that. But yet these are the people who also come from the military who carry the guns. If our men, and I'm just saying, if our men are going through it, real talk, if our men are going through it, where half the time they can't control themselves, where they're pulling their guns and they're killing their loved ones and themselves, is it okay for the women who give birth to our children to go through that too?
It's their choice.
It's not okay, but there's something that can't be controlled.
I agree with you, but I'm agree with you too.
Everybody, not just our females, but everybody has their path and their choices, and their choices. I don't care if you have a choice that's really good. There's always a bad and a good choice. Like this saying, there's always a negative and a positive and stuff like that.
Right.
So these choices of joining these branches or law enforcement. Speaking now just speaking for females, it's trauma because it's separation from family.
Yes.
And to get on top about law enforcement for officers, especially females, like you doing these jobs to protect your city or your country. This is trauma enough to bring you away from your family for certain months to years. Mm-hmm. And then now that you got to think about you missing birthday parties, holidays, stuff like that. And then when you come back home, it's like you have to put yourself back in that old position where you was before to readapt to that living. So it's hard for both sides. It's hard.
No, I'm sorry, I can't help it, man. It's my daddy day. This is how it goes. But my whole I do fear women going into the service. Although I will say that it what we see as a slight negative might turn into one of the greatest positives in military history. Yes, women are emotional, but I also believe that they're creatures of God. And what I mean by that is most women stop. Hey, put that back. Put it back. Sorry about that. Most women will feel that violence may be the last thing to erupt in a bad situation, where you have men who will walk into it ready for it.
What happens if your last thing is your first thing?
Well, your first is usually your last, and your last is usually your first.
Yeah, so like you're saying, like sometimes like violence for a female, that's might be their last thing. Mm-hmm. But like if you want to join the services, like what happens if that's your first thing?
That's why they don't. That's why I believe certain people who have emotional tendencies don't go to the front line. Cut it out. I believe people who have them type of tendencies, they don't make it to the front line.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying.
Quick trigger people don't make it to the front line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think that most females won't be on the front line. I'm not saying that it won't be none at all.
Because they're quick trigger?
No, not because of quick trigger. It's because some people can't handle that type of situation. But going back to saying what we do if you're pressured. Some people, right, and some females and some males as well, not just females, don't know how to react at a certain time as you should act when you're under pressure. Some might freeze up.
So you're saying most females will freeze up more than boys?
No, see, that's what I said. Some females and males, both. Both females and males will have a tendency of freezing up under pressure.
So why do you believe that there's gonna be more boys than females and not an equal amount?
Because females, right? Not saying all, but some females are taught to be, loving and mother nature. Some females are not. Some females don't have that mindset of killing or to hurt. Not a lot of females will sit there and quick to kill than the male. Some males. So it's not like, oh yeah, I'm a female. Yeah, I'm trained to kill. So when I get to the battlefield, I'm gonna kill. Some female are like, oh snap, I was taught to do this, but now this is the real moment. Like, am I actually gonna do what I got taught in basic training? Some people just don't have that in them. A female, and some males go push through the baddest basic training ever, and make sure you're like, okay, they can do basic training so good. Yeah. But when you get in that battlefield, it's like, oh.
There's a difference between somebody shooting at you and somebody shooting at you to kill you. So, I'm just saying, as a person who grew up on these streets, there's a difference of you standing in the crowd and you dispersing because someone's shooting in the air. And the difference is you stand in the crowd and someone's pointing a gun in the crowd and shooting. There's a difference. Like, you're going to move different. You're going to think different. It's like, the moment that barrel is pointing in your direction or them bullets are whizzing over your head, I could imagine what a person is thinking. And I'm pretty sure it ain't, hey, I need to fire back. It's like, damn, I miss my mama. I wish I was home. Why the fuck am I here? Why did I get sent here? What the hell is this about? Things go through your mind before you probably kick in and say, you know what? I won't make it home if I don't fight. And I don't think that requires a man or woman. But I do think in this point in time, with the way the military and everything is going, I think women are going to make better leaders to a certain extent. Maybe they might not make the captains and the generals on the field, but I do believe as lieutenants and things like that, you have to understand that some women are built for this shit. Some women are built for this shit. I'm dead serious. It made me look at that different when I'm telling you we went to that graduation and how many young women are sitting there holding, and then you look out with the blue on, and how many women in there, a minority, got stripes on their shoulders. So you have to think about it. And where did they come from? Half of them came from military. I say about 30% of the people who join the police force are people who attended some type of military background.
Yeah, that's true. Because we went to a nice little event yesterday, and it was at a command, and we was at the command, and then I was walking out of the precinct. A detective stopped us and was asking, my fiance, are you part of the military? And then he also explained that he was part of like an Alpha company and he was upstate and stuff like that. So you are right. Like a lot of officers that come into the job, there's some type of military
background. Yeah.
You'll be surprised. You'll see this cop like, nah, they never did military. But you sit down, you speak to them, you're like, oh wow, he did Air Force or he did Navy.
Yeah,
he did
special
this.
units and shit like that. But yet you come back to be in New York City. And I guarantee you, it's not because they couldn't cut it. It's because maybe they saw enough action.
Yeah,
if a person sees one or two dog fights, that's it for him. They're hanging you up because it's not normal.
Yeah, it drives me insane. Some people, they go there with this, and I'm not saying because I know people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did. I'm not saying because I know people, but I've seen it before and after, like pictures of people, how they see it. Damn.
It's okay. Take your time.
It drives people insane because sometimes it goes to this point where, oh, I'm not ready to die.
Right.
But it gets
I'm glad you
so
said
much.
That. I'm glad you said that.
It gets so much to where if I'm going to die, I'm taking you with me.
Right.
And that's what I find at least the most messed up. And going in like front lines, infantry, etc.
And being a woman is work. I'm telling you, if you are going through that, and I'm not even a woman, and I could tell going through that menstrual time of the month, you in the service, depending on what you're doing at that time, bullets flying over your head, whatever you're doing, you can't use your cramps as an excuse. That can't be your excuse. It can't be. So what, you having a bad day? You gotta, and I feel for that. But I also feel for the woman who comes home, who has to come home to that child, and she's not fully there. After doing 4 to 5 years of service with the military, and I'm just using a minimum, and you have to come home to that 5-6-year-old child, and your mind is not right because you can't develop him. You're not going to develop him because his is not right. Yours is not right. That's my only flaw. That the way the women have to come home to their children. Forget about the loved ones. I'm talking about their children. Specifically their children. Them dogs, boy, they stink. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just used the bathroom, boy. Oh, these dogs. But I'm just saying. So we get to this point at the time where the women are going to start taking over the military part. Get out of there. The baths. Get your ass up out of there. Get down. Women are going to start taking over the military part. This has been a very active show today because of the background noise and the things, and people don't understand sometimes I'm a babysitter and the show must go on. But if we could change anything about the draft and women being drafted, I would say I would include women in the draft in a certain age bracket. So if you're at the age of between 21 and I would say 31, I may not draft you. I may draft you between the age of 31 and 41. Because then that gives you enough time to develop a family that you may have wanted prior to going into the service, because you're definitely not going to be the same coming out the way you go in.
And even if you make it back, the only way you're gonna make it back most of the time is your name in a medal.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I want to salute all the women who take the time out to fight in our militaries today, who take the time out to carry the big weapons, who take the time out to want to compete with the men. I hope they don't compete so much that they forget that they're just as important as the men. But until that day come, I guess we'll find out, sooner or later. But I want to close out by saying, first of all, I want to give ourselves a congratulations for our last video. We have, first time in a long time, we have hit a successful mark. And I thought it was a beautiful thing. And I want to thank you guys, because a lot of this has started because you guys, the Future group, have helped me out doing a lot through the storm. So, hope we can continue success. So my shout out, it does, it sticks bad.
I was the first one to smell that shit.
Yes, it
I'm
does
sorry.
stick bad. And the fan don't help because it kicks it back this way too.
I was the first one to smell. I was like, what the hell is that? I just hit me.
Pick it up as soon as we finish.
I was the first one, man.
But that's my shout out to you guys, and I love you and I respect you guys a lot. And I do apologize that we weren't able to do our live like we usually do, but like I said, there are times
That's fine.
where, I'm a father first and I have to put my duties before I put my anything else first. So, on that note, I appreciate y'all guys. Anybody got anything they want to add before we close?
Nah.
You sure?
Hey, we appreciate you for letting us in this show. Simple as that.
In the summertime, I might not be physically here, but I'm gonna be here
You
through
always
FaceTime.
here. Don't say that.
No, because I'm not.
You
gonna be-
always here. The other day, Josh wasn't here, right? It was Sashi sitting in the chair. And I looked over, what did I say? I said, Josh, introduce yourself.
Josh.
So Shashi looked at me like, I'm like, Josh, come on. I did. If you listen to the last show, you hear it. He goes, Randy, I'm shy. Shy, sorry. Because I'm so used to having the family around that, I love it. The aspect of what we're doing right now is a beautiful thing. So, with that said, we're going to end tonight's show. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube page. Make sure you cash out Living Room TRT. Wait for the see the T.
Team Analog.
I'm trying to end the show. Let me end it. Okay, let me end it. Hold on. Shh, hold on. So, shout out to Gorilla 2K. Shout out to Mr. Irrelevant. And make sure you check out the Facebook page. We are on. We try to get on every Sunday if we can to do live. But until then, peace, joy, and happiness until we speak to you again.
Have a great, blessed night.
Amen.
All
All right. Y'all are too much, man.
Oh, okay.